Do you guys think that Pepperdine is kind of a bubble?
Yes.
Could you even say that your hometowns are each kind of bubbles? Could one argue even that the United States itself is just this giant bubble? The term bubble refers to the idea of something sheltering people's lives, protecting them, keeping them innocent from the harsh realities of the real world. This summer I learned just how much of bubble my life was completely surrounded in. Over the summer I had the opportunity to travel the world and study Spanish for my GE language requirement. I did a 4-week special language immersion program in Tamarindo, Costa Rica. I quickly learned to fall in love with Costa Rican culture, the food, the language, and the people. The city of Tamarindo was relatively safe. All you really needed to worry about was just petty theft. Girls could walk home alone late at night, nothing would really happen, but you just needed to keep track of your wallet. Eventually, my mom and 2 friends decided to use this as an excuse to come visit me, but really, it's only been 2 weeks, so really they just wanted a reason to go to the beach. My friends came on an earlier flight. They rented a car and drove from the airport about 40 minutes away to the town on the coast. On this journey, a traumatic event happened to them. They hit 2 huge patches of gravel and spun out, almost rolling into a ditch. They eventually made it to me with no harm to them or their car, but they were fairly traumatized. We went to the beach and waited until my mom's flight got in. When we decided to go, we had to go get her, we didn't decide. When we went back to go get my mom at the airport, they decided that I should drive because they were still struggling with their PTSD. The way there was fine, nothing happened, just 3 girls rocking out on these lonely, tiny, abandoned roads, listening to music we couldn't really understand. But after we picked up my mom, and we were very late, so she was really mad at us, something dramatic happened to us. On the same exact road, probably 30 minutes apart, there's like no one around the roads ever. We saw in the distance a little cone with 2 little men. As we got closer, we realized it was a police checkpoint, and they motioned for us to slow down and roll down the window. Proceeding in my 4th grade level Spanish I had just been working on, the officer asked me for my passport and the rental car information. And it wasn't until this exact moment I realized I never grabbed my passport because I was never planning on driving. I tried to tell him that my school had told me not to travel with my passport, to just use my student ID. I was basically just like making it up, trying to get out of trouble, you know? But the officer told me it was a $300 fine for driving without a license, but if I gave him $100 now, he would just let me go. I looked at him. "En serio?" I said. Like, are you kidding me in Spanish? And I said in Spanish, "Can you say that in English? Because I couldn't have understood it correctly that you want me to bribe you." He said the same thing to me in broken English. Again, trying to work on my Spanish, I say, "Well, why don't you just go to the police station and tell your boss you tried to make me bribe you? How about that?" I don't know if my threat just unfazed him because he knew there'd be no consequences for what he did, or if it was lost in my 4th grade level vocabulary. But regardless, all he did was put his hand on his gun, lean intimidatingly into my window and say, $100 now, ma'am. I looked around and really thought about just making a run for it. There was no one there, just these 2 guys in the middle of the road. After deducing in my head like Sherlock Holmes or a superhero the likely scenario that would unfold, I decided that I should fill the rest of the car into what was happening. When I told my mom, she started to freak out. Panicking, searching through her wallet, she hadn't been to the ATM yet, so she's like pulling quarters and stuff to try and make $100. I was like, "Mom, we shouldn't pay this. This is corrupt and unjust, and I would rather pay $300 to the right people." She looked at me in an even more intimidating voice than the police officer had just used, said, "Mallory, we're going to pay this man and not get murdered in that field, okay?" At this point, I wasn't sure if I was more scared of the police officer or my mom. But regardless, we scrambled together the money, barely making $100, and gave it to the guy, and he let us go. To this day, I'm still not sure if that was a real police officer or just 2 guys who just decided to put on Halloween costumes and scam tourists and live in the middle of nowhere. But I learned 2 lessons about myself. The first thing I learned was that I've always known in my head, in theory, that I have this like ideal passion for standing up to injustice and corruption, and that I really value the American freedoms I take for granted every day. But it wasn't until I was sitting there, face to face with such a small example of corruption, and I saw how mad it made me, that I realized just how important those things were to me. I would rather pay 3 times the amount of money and have it go to actually the right people than to keep pursuing the systemic corruption that I saw. The final lesson I learned about myself with this experience was I've always thought that I was well-traveled, going to almost every continent, seeing so many different kinds of political structures and levels of poverty. But it wasn't until now that I realized, even having been traveling so many places and seen so many things, this is the first time I've even seen such a small example of corruption. And I realized that even while I'm traveling to all these different places, all these different things I've done, it wasn't until then I had an experience with corruption and I realized just how small of a bubble I had been traveling in. So it wasn't 5 minutes.